another keto donut recipe for you guys. So I'm curious, what's your favorite donut? Because mine is an apple fritter, although I do love maple bars. And I love those old-fashioned donuts too. Those are really good. I just love all donuts. But today I'm gonna show you how to make one of my favorite donuts, and that's the apple fritter. We're gonna be making keto apple fritters. Now, before we get into this, I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, apples are not keto. And I know they aren't. So we're actually gonna be using something else instead of apples to make it an apple fritter. We're gonna be using zucchini, believe it or not. And if you're no stranger to the keto world, you've probably seen other recipes that use zucchini in place of apples. And if you're trying to make like an apple pie or like some sort of like apple turnover, and it really works well. I mean, zucchini, once you peel it, it looks very similar to diced up apples, and they have a neutral flavor. So you could flavor it with some apple extract so that it ends up tasting like an apple. And it works really well in this recipe, and you won't even know the difference that you're actually eating zucchini instead of an apple. Now, before we get started with this recipe, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new recipe. And if you're interested in other donut videos, well, click up here because I have a donut playlist for you guys. So let's start with our zucchini first. So I'm gonna be using 2 zucchinis here. You wanna peel them up first just to get rid of that tough outer skin, and then dice them up into really small chunks. Now, after I diced up one, I actually realized that probably one is plenty. I don't really like to go overboard because I like more donut than I do apple in my apple fritters. We're gonna add this to a small bowl and add a couple of teaspoons of lemon juice. The lemon actually just helps brighten up the fritter, plus it kind of mimics that sort of tartness that Granny Smith apples have. We're gonna set that aside and move on to our donut batter. So in a medium bowl, we're gonna add in 2 cups of almond flour. And then you're gonna add in 1/2 cup of whey protein powder. And the protein powder that I always like to use is by Perfect Keto. I love this stuff. I use it all the time in my keto baking, and I like using their products just because they're clean. It has clean ingredients and lots of healthy fats in it. They're actually who sponsored today's video, so big shout out to Perfect Keto. If you guys are interested in trying their whey protein powders, I'll have a good discount listed down below for you. You'll also need 3 tablespoons of monk fruit blend sweetener, or you could use a sweetener of your choice, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of xanthan gum, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Whisk that together until it's combined, and then we're gonna add in our wet ingredients. So you're gonna need 1/2 cup of melted butter, 1/2 cup of nut milk. I'm gonna be using macadamia nut milk, 1/4 cup of sour cream, and 1/4 cup of water. You'll also need 1 egg. We're gonna mix this together until it's combined, and then we're gonna stir in our zucchini apples. Next comes the fun part, and that's to fry these guys up. So I have a skillet here, and I'm gonna pour in around 2 cups of avocado oil. You could use whatever oil you want. You just need to make sure it has a higher smoke point. So lard works really good. You could use duck fat, but I'm gonna be using avocado oil. And then we're just gonna plop down some of our apple fritter mixture. You could use a cookie scoop, or you could use a spoon and just plop it down in there. It gives it that really irregular shape that's characteristic of an apple fritter. Cook them for around 3 or 4 minutes on each side. Just make sure you watch them so that they don't burn. I have the heat set to around like medium, close to medium high heat. Flip them when they start to brown on the underside and continue cooking. Once they're done, take them out and let them sit on a paper towel just to catch up any additional leftover oil. Repeat that with your remaining batter, and then we're gonna make up the glaze to go on top. So the keto glaze that we're gonna put on top, you wanna start with a small bowl, and we're gonna add a half a cup of powdered erythritol, 3 tablespoons of heavy cream, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And another option is to add a little bit of melted butter to this. I've added around 2 tablespoons of melted butter before, and it really makes a buttery keto apple fritter. It's really good. But today I'm just gonna stick with the heavy cream, the vanilla, and the confectioner's erythritol. We're gonna mix this together until it's smooth. You could even add it into the microwave to get it a little bit more melty and drippy, and then just drizzle all over your keto apple fritters. And these are so great. I love them in the morning with a cup of coffee. It's just like one of the best breakfasts you could ask for. So if you guys are missing apple fritters on the keto diet, you definitely need to make this recipe. Thanks again to Perfect Keto for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check out my other donut videos down below. And thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a good one. Bye.